Hello and welcome to this lesson. We're going to be covering my arrangement of the ecstasy in gold, and I chose to place the capo in fret number 5 and tune string 6 down a whole tone to drop D. Okay, so we begin with a 16th note repetitive pattern. Essentially it's one beat or 4 notes that I repeat over and over, and that would be barring 2 strings here with my index finger. I'm getting string 6 and string 5 in the 2nd fret. Also getting the 2nd fret on string 4. That may be an odd technique for some to do that small bar and across. Just on a side note, I often will play the A. If we ever have an A major chord, I would play it with a similar grip. But we're way up here on string 6, 5, and 4, and we begin actually reaching out with our pinky there. We're going to start with our index finger on the right hand to our open string 3, back to string 4, string 5. 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And repeat that 8 times, or 2 measures. In comes our main theme, starting on string number 4 this time. My middle finger, and that arpeggio is very similar, how I went from the upper strings down to strings 2, 3, and 4. Notice it's the same arpeggio each time. Finishing with kind of a filler for 2 beats. That's thumb, index, middle, index. And then middle, index, middle, thumb. Sorry, middle, index, thumb, index. There it is. Now that seems like there's a lot of information here, which there is, but I'm going to start repeating myself and using the same techniques on the chords. For example, we move to this next theme, which is very similar to what we began with, only I'm playing the 2nd fret with my index, release, then it's open strings. So 4 notes, repeated 4 times, but I'm holding the 5th fret with my pinky in the bass. In comes a melody. It's the 3rd fret there. Notice the filler I just did. I did the same filler on the last chord, and then back to our... We've got an A suspended chord here, just playing a couple 2nd frets on strings 4 and 3. And kind of coming across from our 2nd string, 3rd and 4th, into a C grip. Well, I'm not going to use my index finger, we're not going to play that string down there. Okay, now we start over 4 repetitions of our first theme. That next measure is exactly the same as, what would that be, measure number 3. And then we move on to, it's a hammer. I use my index and my 3rd finger. And a couple open strings, open string 4 and 3. So I'm using my middle, index, thumb. Barring across the 2nd fret, we're going to bar to string number 4. Our melody is string 1 to 2. That's the filler this time, a little different. Back to, grab the 5th fret with your 1st finger. I'm on to measure number 15 approximately. So a lot of open strings and 7th frets there. Try to get a very full sound. A B suspended, so I'm using... The reason I've got my 1st finger free is because I'm going to be playing into a B7 chord. Okay, so on to the B chorus, labeled in our transcription at measure 18. So I have the melody open to 7th fret. My harmony underneath is I'm holding the 2nd fret and then the 4th fret with 1st and 2nd finger. So our arpeggio, using my ring finger here, or 3rd finger. Yeah, again, there's that filler arpeggio. Moving up to the 10th, very similar shape, I just move up kind of 3 frets. And the melody dropping from 10 down to 7. Now these fret numbers, as always, relative to that capo place there. Back to a melody we've already done, into the C chord. So very similar. We get going once again, but this time we're going to venture very high. 14th fret relative to the capo. It's my 2nd last fret on the guitar here. It'd be like the 19th if you forget about the capo's placement. We've done that melody before as well. Our conclusion with the B suspended to the B7. Roll through again. That's from our measure number 3, I think. Again, from the very introduction. When we get started on our A sus chord here, we only get a couple beats through and then we jump to a C chord. Into a C. So I'm going up 2 notes at a time. Into a G. A B7 this time. Melody is like open 4. And then I do a inversion of our B7 chord, so that's B7 slash D sharp. Melody's up here. E minor chord played kind of an odd way because of the tuning, and an A with a bar and the 5th fret up top. Alright, coming into the conclusion, an E minor chord played like that 1st finger bar there. G, melody on string 2 going. A, and a C. And a melody gets added on string 1 over that C chord. E minor. G, A, C. Kick snare comes in on that. Kick, snare, kick, snare, kick. So it's strum, strum. If you've watched a lot of the level 3 lessons, this is my technique on this is pretty much always the same. Kick, snare. So a kick, 2 kicks and 2 snares per chord, alternating between them. Etc. Okay, have fun with this one. It's quite challenging, but after you've gone through it a couple times, you'll start to realize the repetitions and such throughout it. Have fun, and I'll see you soon.